public recognizes the need for security on the one hand and recognizes that the root cause of this problem is not a firearm. The root cause of this problem is that we in this country have managed to destroy a mental health care system over the last few decades that lets the kinds of people who should either receive treatment to coexist in a civil society or should be kept out of that society because they're potentially dangerous to others, they need to be dealt with. And almost all of these mass shooters, different from gun criminals, the mass shooters tend to be people who have severe mental problems. You know, I work, when I'm not wearing my NRA hat, one of the things that I'm very involved in is criminal justice reform. And it's interesting, in every single state in this country, not in some states, not in most states, but in every single state, there are more people in prison who've been diagnosed as severely mentally ill than there are in that state's private and public mental health care facilities. And there's one thing that we know, that is that prisons do not cure people who have severe mental problems. They get released onto the street, as happened in New York, the Christmas Eve shooting in New York where 2 firemen were killed by a man who had been in prison for hitting his mother-in-law in the head 80-some times with a hammer to kill her, who had told them before he was let out that the first thing he wanted to do was kill his sister. He killed her, set fire to the place, and shot 2 firemen. Now, what kind of a system is it that can't deal with someone like that, or like the woman in New York who was a diagnosed violent schizophrenic who wouldn't take her meds, who pushed somebody a week or so later under a subway train in Queens?